Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
The issue of subpoena, that will be unprecedented in the sense that it's pretty clear that a president can't be subpoenaed to a criminal proceeding about him. We have the real life circumstance going on that the founding fathers thought about, which is a president cannot be distracted.
What?
By a criminal investigation. You
Where
can
does it
always
say
prosecute
that?
him after. If Mueller said to me tomorrow, bring him in 2 hours like you want, no questions that you don't want, and we're pretty much ready to clear him. I could not go to the President of the United States and say, take 2 days off to get ready for that and screw the whole thing with North Korea. He is going to negotiate, I believe, a non-nuclear situation on the Korean Peninsula.
Nobody thought about it. Here, all right.
And you're going to interfere with that? That's why the founding fathers created this immunity from prosecution and subpoena. Now, if it's a civil case, Clinton submitted because it was a civil case.
What is he talking about? You know, I don't know if Rudy is getting paid to Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. We have glitchy video for you all day. All day. Roy! Oh! We're waiting for Roy. We need Roy to come in. There's something, our wires across. Just like Rudy Giuliani. It's an epidemic. It's going around. It's going around. I don't know if Rudy's getting paid. Do you know? Does anybody know if Rudy's getting paid? I don't know if Rudy's getting paid, but I will tell you this. We could do a GoFundMe to keep Rudy advocating for the President of the United States. We could do that. Make sure he gets some cash. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. He is so much like Trump that the next step down for him is just to start repeating, no subpoena, no subpoena. You're the one that needs to get a subpoena. No subpoena, no subpoena. You're the one that needs... Oh, my God.
You've got Russia.
Yes, you do. I mean, this is just his solution to the subpoena is he just says Trump can't be subpoenaed. Why do you need a lawyer for that? You know what you need for that? You need MC Hammer for that. Can't touch this. And he went bankrupt too. So there you have it. Worked out well, right? Guess you could touch it. Guess you could touch all of it. Trump's touchy. He's very touchy. Wow, this is just amazing to me. So, you know, the president said last week before he left to go to the NRA, which was a debacle. Did you see that? Did you see the speech at the NRA? No, I know you didn't. I have it. It's just going to be glitchy, but you could hear it. But I mean, honest to God, man, he was saying Kanye West, you know, gave me a shout out or some such thing. And because he did that, we have a 22% approval rating among African Americans. You know what the problem is with that? There's no data that says that that's true. The data clearly says that in January, Trump had a 13% approval rating among African Americans. And today he has a 12% approval ratings among African Americans. I don't.
African American unemployment has reached another all-time in history record low in history.
Oh my God.
And by the way, Kanye West must have some power because you probably saw I doubled my African American poll numbers. We went from 11 to 22 in 1 week. Thank you, Kanye. Thank you.
Okay, he's just making crap up, and Rudy Giuliani is making crap up, and everyone is making crap up. And Melania today, oh, poor Melania. Her approval ratings are going up because I think people feel so freaking sorry for her. First of all, I have to tell you, in the newspapers over the weekend, there was a big profile of how she has nothing to do with Donald. I mean, literally nothing. They don't sleep together. They don't wake up together. They don't eat dinner together. They have nothing to do with each other. She just goes about her business with her staff of 10, and she never goes to the West Wing. She doesn't ever ask him how his day is going or pop in or nothing. She has has absolutely nothing to do with him. She barely travels with him when she's in Mar-a-Lago. They're not seen together. They do not. Listen, I'm the first person to tell you all marriages are different. Everybody does it different. And I'm not here to criticize. But this woman is so immune to irony, okay, that you have to sort of want to, I don't know, the bubble that she's in must be like 9 inches thick or 10, because you can't, or 11, can't touch it with a 10-foot pole with irony, and you 9-inch nails wouldn't pierce the bubble. I don't even. Today she gave a big thing at the White House. I guess she was in the Rosie Garden or something like this. I mean, he has a rose garden. He couldn't pick flowers for her birthday. Oh, just terrible. But she decided to tell you again that her platform as First Lady of the United States of America is Louboutin. No, her platform is cyberbullying. Her platform is, and she named it now. So this makes it worthy of an announcement. I don't know. Cyberbullying, and I know she doesn't, live with him. I know she doesn't toil under that belly any longer. I know she's released from her, slave duties. I get it. I understand. Good for her. Whatever she's getting paid, it's not enough. However, she named the cyberbullying campaign and the thing for the children, all the children, Be Best. Let that sink in. Be Best. That's the name of her campaign. Be Best. What does that? It's missing a the. Be Best. Oh my God. Oh my God. And, he gave a little dog and pony show today. Oh, how wonderful she is and how lucky we are to have her. And, because, it's her love that lifts us all up. Really? It's her love that lifts us all up. I don't know. But then, you look at everybody around him, and everybody around him is just inside some crazy bubble, a bubble through which no information, no constitution, no respect for the people he governs. No, I mean, nothing. It's just so, I mean, God, I can't explain. So Rudy, okay, he regrouped. The president said before he went to the NRA speech and said Kanye gave him a shout out, and now he's got 22% approval. There is no evidence to support that. I mean, nothing is true. Everything he says is meaningless. Everything. It's not even, I mean, look, Sarah needs to go. Sarah needs to go because Sarah needs to accept the fact that this president will never, ever, ever be honest with her, and therefore she is incapable of delivering the honest truth to the American people. She doesn't bother to do the simplest bit of research. I mean, if somebody asks her tomorrow whether or not there's a 22% approval rating in the African-American community for Donald Trump, Sarah's going to say it's the best information we have at the time, this lie. As if she doesn't have the ability to look up polling and find out that in January he had a 13% approval rating among African-Americans, and today it's down to 12. I don't know how she can live like this. I really don't. She needs to, go to her dad and say, Dad, I'm being lied to. I don't know what to do. And I saw a tweet this weekend where, her dad says, okay, Sarah, tell me everything. And she says, well, Dad, I just, I don't know what to do. The president lies to me all the time, and he's cruel. He's making a fool out of me. And Huckabee says to his daughter, well, it's just like when your brother shot that stupid dog. Just lie and make jokes. This is the family. But everybody around him. So anyway, he went on this week with George Stephanopoulos to try, because Trump said when he was leaving to go to the NRA, well, Rudy just came on. He just came on yesterday, which was also a lie. Rudy's been there for 2 damn weeks. 2 damn weeks. So he went on, and Trump said, well, he'll get his facts straight, and, he'll catch up, and this will be great. Don't worry about it. Rudy's a special guy. We really love Rudy. I don't know. And so he went on this week with George Stephanopoulos. You don't have to show the video. Let's just play the audio. It's very distracting.
The president said you're going to get the facts straight, so let's try to get some facts on the table to begin with. The president does acknowledge meeting Stormy Daniels, correct?
Gee, I'm not really involved in the Daniels thing, so I don't know.
What?
I mean, He denies that it happened. She has written a letter denying it.
Well, we do have a picture of them together. So the president...
Well, it depends on what you mean by met her, right? Right.
Well, yeah, there's the picture right there. I just want to get that fact on the table.
Please don't do
shtick, like my friend
Rudy.
Donald Trump before he was president, but and that looks like the woman who was on Saturday Night Live last night.
That's right, but does the...
Now, that's pretty interesting. I think she kind of... God, if I were her lawyer, I'd be very upset. Fame and fortune.
What?
Let me make money. How is she damaged? She's become rich as a result of this. 130,000 doesn't mean anything. Boy, I wish that was my case.
So the president does deny any sexual relationship
that is your case.
with Stormy Daniels.
He has. I have not. I'm not. As I said, I'm not involved in that. But the reality is, he denies it. She denied it. Then, when it was opportunistic, right before the election, she came forward, and then, of course, the whole thing happened with Michael Cohen, and it's history now because it wasn't a campaign, anything.
But let me just, because you say it's history. When did the president first learn that Stormy Daniels wanted money to keep quiet about the relationship?
Don't know, and doesn't matter to me. What matters to me are two things. There are two relevant legal things, which is what my job is. Number one, it was not a campaign contribution because it would have been done anyway. This is the kind of thing that I've settled for celebrities and famous people. Every lawyer that does that kind of work has. And number two, even if it was considered a campaign contribution, it was entirely reimbursed out of personal funds, which I don't think we'll even get to because the first one's enough. So, case closed. Case closed for Donald Trump.
What's with the eyeballs? He looks like a deranged vampire. He looks like, you know what he looks like? He looks like if Mitch McConnell and like our governor from Florida, Rick Skeletor Scott, had a baby. A big, giant, very old, confused baby. It would be Rudy Giuliani. Now, you know what he said there? He said, oh, Stormy Daniels hasn't been damaged because what? She could sit up in a chair and do Saturday Night Live for 2 seconds? I mean, it was funny. It was funny. She said, on Saturday Night Live, I don't know if I know you don't believe in climate change, Donald, but a storm is coming, baby. Right? And then Rudy says, oh, well, she approached us during the campaign because that's when her claim was worth the most. Except that is not what happened. Michael Cohen approached Stormy Daniels.
George, did that interview just happen?
Really?
I mean, I'm not being spoofed, right?
You heard the whole thing. What's your reaction?
Well, it's an absolute unmitigated disaster for Rudy Giuliani and the president. It's a train wreck. I can't believe that actually just happened. I mean, what we witnessed by Rudy Giuliani may be one of the worst TV appearances by any attorney on behalf of a client in modern times. He now expects the American people to believe that he doesn't really know the facts, that as to every key question you asked, he hasn't communicated with the president about it. I mean, this guy's all over the map over the last 72 hours on some very simple facts that should be very straightforward. I think it is obvious, George, to the American people that this is a cover-up, that they are making it up as they go along. They don't know what to say because they've lost track of the truth.
Well, let's try to break down some of those points right there. Number one, do you have evidence that this was, in fact, a campaign-related payment? We know the timing of it, but do you have other evidence, any communication between Michael Cohen and your client, any communication between Michael Cohen and the president that demonstrates this was connected to the campaign?
There is significant amount of evidence. There is no question that this had everything to do with the campaign. In fact, if you go back and replay that interview, and that will be done, I'm confident, and if you look at the answers, you're going to find an inconsistency with what Rudy Giuliani just told you. Early in the interview, he told you it had nothing to do with the campaign. Later in the interview, you asked him if there was going to be inconsistencies between Michael Cohen's testimony and Donald Trump, and he equivocated. He basically said that, well, it may have had something to do with the campaign, but it also had to do with personal issues. There's no question this had everything to do with the campaign. You can look at the timing associated with the payment. The president could have paid this money, or Michael Cohen could have paid the money or negotiated this in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11,
but the
12, 13.
Let me stop you there, though, because one of the points that Rudy Giuliani made was that it was your client who was pressing for it during the campaign because that's when it was most valuable.
That's absolutely false. That is not what happened. My client was preparing to tell her story. My client did not approach Michael Cohen, did not have anyone approach Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen approached my client and her counsel in an effort to shut her up in the days before the election.
Whoops. There it is. Whoops, they have evidence that clearly shows that Michael Cohen approached Stormy Daniels and offered her this amount of money, and she did not approach them. So, I mean, they all just make stuff up. And, nobody cares about, sex. Nobody cares whether or not. What's just crazy is the cover-up. What's just crazy is that we are down at the bottom of the barrel in that Trump has no one else. He cannot attract any person with legal expertise in this area. Okay? This is another unhinged campaign surrogate who was, got a new gig as Donald Trump's lawyer. The man hasn't tried a case that ever had anything to do with campaign finance law. He doesn't know campaign finance law. He is accusing Stormy Daniels of doing something untoward, which is going to get him sued as well. These are stupid people. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.